Dornoch is now opening up that margin. It's Dornoch who's up by 3, 4 wide, just tucked in there. Sierra Leone is rolling. Here comes the big bounding strides of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone from last to first. This is a big effort. Battling on is Dornoch, who's back to second. Sierra Leone is plugging in. Dornoch is coming back. Dornoch not done. It's going to be a photo.
Dornoch with the re-rally. I mean, what an effort, what a performance. I've watched that race many times. I'm still asking myself, how did Dornoch win that race?
And they would go on to some big 3-year-old seasons, even more than that. For Sierra Leone, of course, would be a Breeders' Cup Classic winner, winning at Del Mar. Dornoch would go ahead and win a Belmont Stakes as we look at some of the alumni that have won the Remsen and what they have done out of that. As far as the Kentucky Derby picture goes, well, you got to go back to the mid-90s. Go for Gin in 93. One is at a 2-year-old. Went wire to wire in the slot for Nick Zito, Chris McCarron in 94. Thunder Gulch, upset winner of the 1995 Kentucky Derby, would lose the Preakness, but he came back and won the Belmont Stakes and the Travers.
Other recent winners have really had strong form lines to find a bit further success once they get through the Remsen. So a great stepping stone and a great race. Just, I guess, in the thick of it here. It goes off as race number 9 on Saturday afternoon. It's a nice looking field of 12 for this one. They go on the distance of 1 mile and an 1/8. Some start 2-year-olds with big expectations really coming with, I guess, a statement kind of performance. Let's start with the big threats here. Courting the 6 comes in for Todd Pletcher. What we have seen from Courting really figured things out with this last effort at Aqueduct.
Let's go ahead and start with the pedigree. Keeneland graduate for $5 million. Why is that? Well, he's by one of the top stallions in the world in Curlin. Out of that really nice mare in Cavorting, who was a multiple Grade 1 winner. She banked over $2 million. As a brood mare, Cavorting produced Clairiere, who was a multiple Grade 1 winner, and earned over $3 million. This is start number 2 for Courting, and look at him draw away. My favorite part of this backtrack was probably the final 16th of a mile right there, where he came from off the pace in his debut in late September. It was a good enough education run to build on that in start number 2, where he showed more speed. I know the fractions were a little bit slower, but he certainly was finishing off his race nightly. He's 9-2. The morning line is out for this. Courting, 9-2 on the morning line.
With a $5 million price tag. Let's take it a little further out wide here. We've got the 10 Balboa for Brittany Russell. Another big price tag. $875,000. This 2-year-old colt has now had 5 starts, 2 wins. Very impressive here in the James Lewis.
And this horse debuted for Bob Baffert out here in Southern California. He lost to Brandt first time out over the summer. Then he put it together in start number 2, drew off and won by 7, lost to Brandt again in the Del Mar Futurity. Then they tried him in the American Pharaoh, and Trepido defeated him that day. And he switched circuits. Then he went over to the Maryland Jockey Club. He wins the James Lewis Stakes that you see right here by 5 lengths. Now he's going to stretch out from 6 furlongs to 9 furlongs. Big stretch out in distance, but he has 5 runs underneath his belt as he looks for back-to-back wins.
Paladin is the 2, gets Flavion Pratt aboard for the ride, exits the same race as Renegade, and what we have seen for the 2, just 1 start prior, was impressive early, showed a lot of moxie late, but just going to be bested here deep stretch. So a lot of confidence to take from this run.
Yeah, Paladin is going to lose the bob, but he's going to place first via disqualification here. Both these horses are coming back in here. Paladin in the Coolmore Silks, or the John Magner Silks on the outside right there. And then you have the other one that was just to the inside coming up in Renegade, who was disqualified out of that maiden win from first to second. Renegade post 9 in the Remsen, 5-1 on the morning line, and then Paladin start number 2, 3-1 on the morning line in post number 2.
Kentucky Derby points on the line Saturday afternoon, going off as race number 9. It's this year's running of the Remsen. Speaking of Derby, let's take a look at some of the prep races to come through the month of December. We've already had the Kentucky Jockey Club. Going to further ado, it's the Remsen this weekend, and then we close it out with the Los Alamitos Futurity, the Gun Runner Stakes, and the Springboard Mile.
And that's going to close out the prep season, at least for 2025. Then we start getting into the prep season when all these horses go from age 2 to age 3. And remember, Dubs, I mean, going back to what we saw in the Kentucky Derby a year ago when we had all these horses on the outside looking in. Remember the top contender, Baeza. He was number 21, wasn't necessarily in the body of the field until very late. Render Judgment was right in front of him, only a couple points in front of him, but it was the difference of not being in the starting gate and being in the starting gate. Ultimately, it did not matter, but you can take the stress out of it when every single point matters, even at the tail end of their 2-year-old season.